In the face of rising extortion-related crime, BC Premier David Eby says work needs to be done to bridge the gap between the community and police.
We absolutely have to close this gap between the community's experience of policing south of the Fraser, the response to extortion when they get a threat, and the understanding of police leadership south of the Fraser about what's happening.
The Premier's comments come amid growing anger over the rise in extortion-related crime in the city of Surrey. Eby says a community task force will be set up to work with local police to provide better understanding of extortion threats impacting residents. He also urged for the expedited implementation of Bill C-12 and C-14. That's federal legislation that Eby says would target criminals and prevent further extortion-related crime in that province. And with us now, Kash Heed, former chief of the West Vancouver Police Department and former Solicitor General in British Columbia. Nice to see you, Kash.
Good afternoon, Caroline.
First of all, what do you make of this rash of crimes in the Lower Mainland, particularly in Surrey? There seemingly is no end in sight. New data out as of the 2nd of February suggests 46 extortion-related crimes, 11 shootings in Surrey since the start of this year. What's happening here?
Well, those are the only ones that have been reported. I'm sure there's several more, but we've got a phenomenon that has been in existence for a couple of years now, one where other parts of Canada were able to get control of it. In British Columbia, we've been unable to, and there's certain reasons why when you look at the balkanized structure of policing here, when you look at the fact that the perpetuation is continuing and there's no signs of it abating at this particular time. Yes, the Surrey Police Service has had success in a few police operations related to capturing some of the individuals involved, but there's so many people that are out there that are not only victims, as you've alluded to, but there's so many suspects that are willing to go out and commit these crimes to get the extorted money from victims.
This does seem to be the #1 issue for Premier Eby. He was in Ottawa last week for the First Minister's meeting and talked about how pressing a concern this was for the people of British Columbia, in particular the Lower Mainland. So we now have a pledge from the feds that at least 20 more RCMP officers will come into the Lower Mainland, and in the next week or so we'll see a meeting of chiefs of police from Western provinces. Will that be enough in your opinion?
No, and let me just explain that to you. We've got a lot of finger pointing going on by this Premier at this particular time, and hoping that certain federal legislation will be in place that he thinks is going to be the magic solution to this problem. It's not going to be. What needs to happen, Carolyn, is that we need a national tactical enforcement priority, which will free up funds from the federal level in order for the enforcement agencies to bring in people on extra time, to bring in the resources that are required. This is a resource-intensive solution to this problem, not finger-pointing, hoping we're going to create more legislation. We have to understand this is really affecting the social economic fabric of the country for the South Asian people, because it's not only here in British Columbia, it's in Ontario, it's in Alberta, it's elsewhere. So the finger pointing has to stop. We know some of the leaders know what needs to be done. It's just a matter of our policymakers, politicians actually doing that.
By some estimates, one Surrey MP said the community needs 200 more police officers. A mayoral candidate in Surrey said 300. So if you're saying it's resources that are needed desperately, what's the number that's needed?
Well, I can tell you right now, whatever that number is, 200 to 300, you need them on the ground now. So you've got to look at realistically how many federal resources, and I strongly believe there should come under that national program so you can bring the federal resources in. If you can get 100 here within the next few days, 100 here within the next week or so, we're ahead of this. If we're waiting years to bring in 200 or 300 more people, we are going to fall behind this even further. We've had some success in the last week. We need to build on the success of getting those people, holding them to account. Although they may be at the lower level, they may be the shooters that we're getting at this time, we need to work it up with experienced investigators to get in front of this.
Kash Heed, former chief of the West Vancouver Police Department and former Solicitor General of BC, thank you for your time and your insight.
Thank you.